Hey everyone, it's Sunday again. I just wanted to get in contact with you and tell you a few things about DID that maybe you didn't know. And also, I'd like to ask you to hit the follow button or hit your like and keep following me because I have information and just I have a hard time getting it out. I can write it just fine, but talking about it is a whole different ball game. Of course, I'm sure many of you understand what I'm talking about because talking in front of people, even if it is through a phone, is difficult. Um, I have given many speeches and it did just fine, but times things change and my memory isn't as good as it once was. So bear with me because I wrote down some notes about the one I'm going to speak about today because it's a little bit deeper than what I usually talk about. I want to talk about the theory of structural dissociation of the personality. You say it a little slower. Theory of structural dissociation of the personality. It's an interesting theory that encompasses apparently normal parts and emotional parts. That's APNs and EPs. Following the exposure to a traumatic event, some individuals manage to integrate the experiences of their personality. The integration preserves their mental health and their mental stability. They're able to cope with things. However, when there is severe and repeated trauma, things are different. Everyone has apparent normal parts and emotional parts. However, in DID, they've become separated from they become separated from one another with emotional barriers, with amnesic barriers. So let me put a picture over here so I can look at my notes a little bit. Maybe what I have, that'd be easier, wouldn't it? EPs are fixated, emotional parts, are fixated in reenactments of traumatic experiences. These reenactments include action tendencies or defense mechanisms to a perceived threat and the integrity of the body to life itself. In other words, EPs can be protectors. They can be some other things. They can be emotional parts, child parts, any part that's not the apparently normal self, which is the front person, the person who's out most, the one who the world knows. Now, sometimes these things can change. When we switch, apparently normal parts can switch with emotional parts, and that can cause all kinds of chaos, can't it? But apparently normal parts are fixated on avoiding traumatic memories and often concentrate instead on inner experiences. Apparently normal parts manifest negative symptoms of detachment, numbing, and partial or in some cases complete amnesia for the traumatic experience. We've all experienced that. Maybe you don't remember part of your childhood, maybe you remember all of it. Most likely you don't. Apparently normal parts tend to push away information from the past. We don't want to live through that stuff again. Apparently normal parts experience intrusive thoughts such as voices, disowned thoughts, feelings, or sensations, or actions that do not belong to them, or, and this is a big one, saying, it is not me. That didn't happen to me, that happened to so-and-so. That happened to my alter so-and-so. That's an apparently normal parts negative effect. One of the things that we have that's not so cool. The reason I'm teaching you about this is because I want you to understand a little better about alters. Alters aren't beings from outer space. They aren't something that you've just dreamed up one day. They're real. They're parts of yourself caught in trauma time. Trauma time's the deepest place. It's where your worst nightmares happened and where your trauma time's a terrible place. But we get stuck there, and sometimes we don't quite keep ourselves away from it. What am I trying to say? We shouldn't have to live in trauma time. Trauma time happened a long time ago. The trauma that happened occurred years ago. In some cases, decades. In my case, it's decades. I just turned 61 yesterday. It was my birthday. And my trauma began when I was first born. So 61 years ago. Allowing something that happened to me 61 years ago to affect me today is ridiculous. However, it does. And I've learned to live with it, learn to live with the knowledge that things happen to me. And I've also relived some of it enough of it to know and worked through enough of it to know that I don't have to live that way anymore. That's the reason I come on these videos. It isn't just to get out there and say, hi, I'm Shirley and so. I come on here to help people understand that they don't have to live in the terror and the fear that comes along with DID. The shame and the guilt and all the other emotions that come along with it. We're worthy of better than that. We're much more worthy than that. And I get on here to give information that's real and true. I may not do a very good job of it, but I do my damnedest to get it out there, okay? I write about it. I speak about it. I get on videos about it. DID, dissociative identity disorder, is not a death sentence. It is not something that you have to live with and harm yourself or do anything else like that, You can overcome it. It happens. I know myself. It's happened to me. And I have over 100 alters. I'm what they call polyfragmented. It's taken me 30 years to get this far, but, such is life. Oh, if I could tell you the stories I could tell you. But maybe I will sometime. Maybe I'll go into detail about some of the things that have happened to me, that you will understand just how much I understand where you are and where you've been and where you're going. So anyway, apparently normal parts and emotional parts. Apparently normal parts are the front people, what some people call them what's that called? The core, but that's not really what it is. If you're like me, you know that. It's not the core personality. But anyway, emotional, that's what ANPs, apparently normal parts, are the front people, the people who are up front the most, the people that the world knows. I call them people, but they're alters. You don't get that mixed up for me, okay? You don't get that mixed up because I said that. But emotional parts are other parts, like, say, child alters or protectors, or even some people have animals for alters. Those would be emotional parts. They hold the emotions, as it pretty much states. They hold the emotions that you experience at one time and hide them from you until you're ready to handle it. Once you're ready to handle it and you work through it, it goes away. Not the alter, but the experience, the depth of your response to the experience goes away. You're no longer triggered like every other second by whatever happens to you. Suddenly you're able to control your temper, control your personality, control what you do. Maybe not all the time, but a good portion of the time. That's my pep talk for today. I hope y'all are enjoying these videos. I thought about not doing them anymore because I just not getting the response I'd like to get, but I know that people are busy, and I know that y'all have other videos to watch that are more dramatic. But I'm giving you real information, real true information, and I hope you appreciate that. So you have a good day, have a good week, have a good Labor Day if you live in the United States, and enjoy your week. Bye-bye.